Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. We've kind of got some Scentsy on deck today, but not really.
What does that even mean?
A few videos back, you may remember that I reacted to a couple that was fired from being a Scentsy consultant couple. Well, it turns out that they have started their new venture, or at least the wife has started the new adventure. We're gonna learn more about it. It is involving a coaching program and a community. And so the MLM to coaching and community pipeline continues. And we're going to dissect the fuck out of this specific situation right after the disclaimer. I feel like blessing my ride today. I feel like blessing my ride today. Good for the most part. I'm gonna need a few. If you don't remember, or if you were not around when this couple was fired from Scentsy back in October, I believe it was, I will go ahead and link the full video to me reacting to the entire situation in the description. But I'm also gonna throw in a clip here to kind of give you a background of what's happening in this video.
We're gonna be reacting to the announcement video first from the couple that has been unexpectedly let go from Scentsy. This happened in the beginning of September 2024, and I'm actually filming this the middle of October. My apologies, I'm so sorry. 2024.
Hello guys, Brian House-Balke here. The sole purpose for us making this video is just to be able to communicate our understanding of a very big decision that was made yesterday. Where the goal in this is not to boast up ourselves or make anybody look bad or any entity look bad or anything like that. It's strictly informational on the things that we've been advised that we can speak to, and just to allow our part of the story at least to be heard, because I'm sure once the news of this gets out, there will be calls, there will be texts, there will be emails, all of that stuff. And so if this is out there, we can just point people to this and say, you know, currently that's what we have to say. So Tuesday of this week today's August 31st, but Tuesday of this week, we got an email from our company, the corporation that we're 1099 contract laborers for, that it had gotten called into question on some businesses that we were running that were not that company's business. And so we quickly called to say we don't have any other businesses. We have a podcast that isn't monetized, that we don't make any money on. We have a marriage ministry, but we have no business. We have no other LLCs, no other S corps, no other corporations, nothing. They're not businesses. And so we thought,
okay, let's talk about that for a minute. Now, when you sign on to join an MLM, there are some things in the contract that I actually go over in my Scentsy deep dive, which I will link below. Within the contract that you sign when you join as a Scentsy consultant, and as a lot of other MLM consultants, there are things that state that you're not allowed to run another business aside from Scentsy when you're utilizing your social media platform, if the social media platform you're using is also utilized to promote your Scentsy business. So in short, what that essentially means is that when you join an MLM that has this piece in their contract, you are handing them all of your social media accounts. So if you post to your Instagram account, your main Instagram account, that you are now a Scentsy consultant, Scentsy has all of the say in what happens to that account when you leave, or when they find out you might have another business. So for example, I, for a while, was doing some virtual assistant work and freelance video editing work. Now, if I were to be within Scentsy at the same time that I was doing that contracted work and utilizing the same Instagram account for Scentsy and that freelance work, if I were to get caught running my freelance business off of that Instagram account, this is what would happen to me. I would be terminated from Scentsy because that's their audience. My audience is now their audience, and I'm not allowed to infringe my other businesses onto those audiences, even if that business has nothing to do with Scentsy.
How twisted is that?
they met on Thursday, didn't reach a decision, told us they would talk to us on Friday, yesterday. And we got an email yesterday informing us that they have decided to move forward with the cancellation. We don't know. This was never something that could have happened. It wasn't. We've done everything we could possibly that we know to do to be upstanding members of this community. And because we don't have any other businesses, this is our sole means of income. So this is going to change a lot of things. And we're confused, we're hurt, we're upset. I don't even, the amount of emotions we've had in the last 24 hours from every aspect are all over the place. But the thing we want you guys to know, anybody watching this, or what we would ask of you, is just be praying for us. We don't know what the future looks like. We don't know what the next 60 days looks like.
Now that we have a better understanding, we're going to get right into it with her first live, I guess we can call this a quote unquote announcement. I don't know. Now, something else to know if you are new here is that I don't fully watch the things that I react to. I skim through them and check to see if they are something that fit for my channel. I like to keep my reactions as genuine as possible on the camera. So that's the reasoning behind that. And that's also the reasoning why I'm saying that I don't really know what's happening in this first live announcement. Now we can get the fuck into it.
Finally.
Now these were on Facebook and Instagram, I believe. Somebody did send them my way, so thank you for sending me all of these links and whatnot. Now the caption on this first live stream that she did says, "Me yapping on and on about this dream." Heart emoji. It's an update. It's therapy session. It's a mini sermon. It's long. But here's my raw, vulnerable heart out there. I love you guys so much. Now we're gonna watch the live stream video that goes along with that caption.
Hi. Okay. Listen, Linda. God, I don't know why there is just like terror in my gut, like talking about this.
Not a good sign.
Okay, so a little update. How about that? The past 3.5 months have been literally bonkers. Wild, crazy, unexpected, gut-wrenching, disappointing, painful, beautiful, all of the things. And I just felt this very deep stirring to chill. Like, I just felt like the Lord was like, you just need to sit and like feel your feelings, deal with your disappointment, deal with the grief of this right now. And so that's really what I've been doing. The end of August, we lost our business that we'd had for almost 17 years. And it was gut-wrenching and unbelievable and all the things.
All the things, all the things. You can take a girl out of the MLM, but you can never take the MLM language out of the girl. I even find myself saying like all of the things and all the feels sometimes. And I'm like, oh, I know where I got that from. And I don't want to take it back.
Oh, you got your Advent book. I love you too, friend. So it's just been a very, I don't know. I have not had a season like this in my life ever. It has really felt like grief. I hate to say grief because it doesn't seem fair. Like, I know people who have lost people who, you know, it's not death grief, but it's grief. Like, there's something in our life that we thought was going to be there forever that is not there anymore. And literally felt helpless and just so, you know, don't know what to do. And so initially it was just like, we're going to move right into survival mode because that's what we had to do. And so Brian immediately got a job in health insurance, and it was really challenging. We learned really quickly like that. Actually, we didn't learn quickly. I think he ended up staying. I think he was there for 6 weeks, and it was not a good fit. And it was really, really hard on him.
Are you being serious right now?
Oh, I'm sorry. A legitimate job, assuming it was in a legitimate insurance company, is too hard on y'all? Are you fucking kidding me? He stayed for 6 weeks? He really stuck it out, didn't he? Meanwhile, people spend their whole life doing a job that they absolutely hate, that rips their soul out every day because it's all they have to make a living for their family. That's an honest living.
That is grim. But it's true, man.
But here you are, about to scam people again, allegedly, to keep your family afloat. As long as you and your family are good, fuck everybody else, right? But we're going to hear how this is all about everybody else and it's going to benefit everybody else. Bullshit. They have to give you money, then it's bullshit.
And by the grace of God, I think it was Halloween, or actually maybe the week before, another opportunity came up in roofing, which he had experience in. And so we jumped right into that. And it's seriously just been a game changer. He's a different human being It's been amazing. So that's what he started doing initially. Went right to work, didn't work out, moved to roofing. I feel like we're finally breathing. He's working in his giftings. I think he's excited and happy. If you need a roof or you think you might have roof damage in the Oklahoma City area, call us. He'd be happy to look. So that's going really well. But I, on the other hand, have just been in this literal state of grief. Initially, we saw the flower farm going because there were still flowers to harvest. And so I was busy. And that was actually really good, I think, for my soul. Because it was like, I have to go harvest. Like, got to show up in the morning and pick flowers. So that was good. We had so many people come around us initially, like emotionally supporting us, financially supporting us. It just, the love and the outpouring was just unbelievable. But once we got our first freeze, which was mid-October, or actually, yeah, it was mid-October because we had to cancel 2 birthday parties. Everything like slowed down, and I really started struggling with like, well, what do I do? What am I supposed to do? And, you know, Brian and I had always worked together. We had always managed and juggled the carrying of all the things that happen with 4 kids in school. We have a senior in high school, a freshman, you know, a 6th grader and a 3rd grader. And it's a lot. Like, I remember the first week of Brian being at work, and I was like, how do people do this? Because I felt like I was running constantly, just kids back and forth, whatever. So then the question became like, how on earth am I going to get a job? Like, I don't have time in the day, like with the running back and forth and all of the things we're juggling. And at the time we had the flower farm too. So there was that. So it was just
The privilege that is spewing from this individual makes me want to fucking climb through the computer right now. I get it. I understand fully that living in America as a human being right now, regardless of your situation, is difficult. Imagine the individuals that are single parents, whether it's by choice or by happenstance, and they have to do all of those things on their own, as well as figure out how they're going to make an income and get to their full-time job, because that is how they make their income, and pick up their kids and make sure their kids are fed and safe. Imagine how those people feel. Ma'am, just take a moment while you're complaining because your husband's at work and now you have to find a job because your flowers aren't growing and your Scentsy business is gone. And I understand it's hard, but don't get on the internet and complain that you now have to find a way to make money.
She must keep in touch with reality.
Welcome to the fucking real world.
just this really like messy. And then things really kind of slowed down, like with the kids. And so that's been helpful. And I think once Brian got stable at work, November was just very different. I think it was very painful. Like, I finally had to sit with all of my thoughts and emotions and my disappointment. There's just so much disappointment. So it's been really hard. It was also really hard because the reasons we were cited for our cancellation were for our other businesses. Well, specifically our marriage podcast business, quote unquote. I don't know if you know how podcast works. We didn't make money off our podcast. It cost us money to put a podcast out. Like, literally nothing. Don't have an LLC. Don't have a bank account. Like, it's not a business.
I think they mentioned that in the original video they put out, that the reasoning behind their termination from Scentsy was because of the podcast. They claimed it was a side business. I don't know. You could actually make decent money off of podcasting if you know what you're doing and you have sponsors. So that's not fully true. And I wonder if maybe that is the case and they were terminated because they were making money off of their podcast. But I don't know the whole story. I just know that you can, in fact, make money off of a podcast if you do it a certain way. Do I know how to do it? No, because I would be doing it.
So we did not have any income coming in. We had a little bit of income for just a bit from the flower farm, local, like, not, anyways. So, which I was so grateful for that. But then it just became like, okay, we have to make money fast. And I also was then like, okay, do I go get a job? What does that look like? And I just really felt like the Lord was like, would you just sit? Would you just sit? So every morning, I'd get the kids up, ready for school, and they would leave and I would get back in bed. And I would just sit and read my Bible and study and pray and journal and process. And it's been a lot to process. And I feel like the consistency of that and just being obedient to God, saying like, chill. Because my tendency is like, I want to fix it. Like, how do I fix this? How do I maybe take our marriage stuff and make it a business? Or I was just trying to, like, my brain was running, like, what can I do? Like, what can I do? And the Lord was just so clear of like, don't do anything, which was so challenging for me. So anyways, all of November, pretty much, I really just didn't. I decided I was not going to drink at all because I knew that if I did, I would, well, actually I stopped drinking in September. When this all happened, because I was like, I know me. I will decide I don't want to feel any of this, and I will be drinking consistently all the time so I don't have to feel, and that's not a good thing. So cut all that out, and then all of a sudden have to feel all these feels. And then just really sat and obediently just sat with God every single day.
Don't say that word.
I hate the word obedient. I know there are quite a few of you out there that are also with me, so I just needed to address that. I hate the word obedient. Obedient is such a gross word, and I know it's a biblical word. I know. It's just a gross word.
And what I think is so special is there was a lot of healing. I'm still really raw. Like, even talking about it makes me emotional. But also I feel like there have been these beautiful new dreams planted in my heart, and I'm excited. I want to share something with you. So I think it was probably like the end of September. I really should go look at my journal and see, or the beginning of November. We were really struggling, like, financially, and just, there was a lot going on. And I just had this feeling that this week was going to be a turning point. Like, I just knew, like, this is going to be the week that everything changes, that it's just, the week's going to turn and everything's going to be different. Like, I just had this feeling like this week is a turning point. And Monday, that was Monday, and I was journaling all this and talking to the Lord about it. And then Tuesday comes, and then Wednesday comes, and nothing is changing. Our circumstances are not changing. Our financial situation is not changing. Things are, like, not changing. And I remember getting to Friday, kind of being disillusioned, like, but I just had this gut feeling, like, it's not that the Lord told me it was going to be a turning point. I don't know. So I'm like, this week, everything's going to change. Everything's going to turn around. It's going to be new. Like, it's going to be better.
This is the perfect example that manifesting, just thinking that something is going to happen for you and it happening, is not a real thing. Because she just told us that she was going back to bed every day and journaling and doing all of those things. Well, of course, your financial situation is not going to change, because those are not things that are going to make you money. Those are not you filling out applications or sending your resume anywhere. That's you hoping and praying that you don't have to go find a traditional job. That's what that is. And then in 1 week, you think it's just going to change because you thought it to be true. That's not how it's gonna work. Not to be rude, I know you're going through a hard time. If you are in a situation where you're in a depressive state and you're not able to get out of bed, 1, you should probably speak to somebody. And 2, you have to know that that's the reason that nothing's changing. If you change nothing, nothing will change. That's what they always like to say in these MLMs. You can't just think it's gonna happen and it happened. Sorry, ma'am.
Friday comes and goes, and it's Saturday. And then Sunday, I just remember sitting down to journal and just, like, feeling disappointed. And the Lord, and I'm like, I thought that you were leading me to believe that this week was going to be this turning point.
I thought you were leading me to believe that this week was going to be a turning point. Not, I thought you were leading me to a turning point, because in order to be led, you have to follow, you have to figure out what you're doing. But if he's leading you to believe that while you're laying in bed journaling, then maybe that you really thought that things were going to turn around.
You are spiraling right now.
This is such a twisted journey we're on. I'm sorry.
And it was almost like he just whispered to my soul, like, what do you think a turning point is? And I, in that moment, was just, like, super convicted. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, I thought you were going to make everything better. I thought our financial situation was going to change. I don't know. I thought there was going to be a check in the mail. I don't know. I thought something was going to change. And as I started really processing through that, I realized that what I thought was going to change is I thought our financial situation was going to change. And what I began to realize as I was processing through and journaling through all this was that I had become so reliant on the comfort of this paycheck that it's where I was getting my peace. Even though I can look back and say that's actually not true. But in a sense, like a portion of my peace was coming from this paycheck.
Oh my God, she's saying all the quiet parts out loud. So the reason, in my opinion, that the portion of her quote unquote peace was coming from this paycheck is because she was so at peace that her team was making her the bulk of her paycheck. That's where my mind goes. I don't know where your mind goes, and I'm just here providing commentary and reaction material. I'm not a professional body language reader or therapist or anything like that.
You don't say.
But when I read into that personally, I see it as she now has to do things to make money. There's not a team making money for her while she's harvesting her flowers anymore. She has to work. And that's the problem that I'm hearing. But again, I'm not a therapist. You let me know. What did you think before I even said that?
We had for so long that I thought was always going to be there. And it was almost like, as I'm realizing all this and I'm journaling and just like talking to God, and it was almost like he said, like, where do you find your comfort? And I am telling you, it was like a freaking knife to my heart, because I just felt like, oh, shoot. Maybe that is where I have been thinking, like, okay, I'm okay because there's money in the bank. I'm okay because I'm getting paid again next month. I'm okay, right? Even though that was a total false sense of security. And since then, I can see very clearly that I actually was not okay. But I guess what my desire was, when I just thought that God was that the week was going to be different, like that this is going to be this turning point for us, I guess my real desire was that it was going to be a financial change. And he just made it so clear to me that that is not where my comfort's going to come from. And ever since then, so what's funny about that is then when you look at the Bible and you look at what a turning point actually is, I guess in my soul, like, I just wanted God to fix it. Like, you're going to turn everything around. Like, you're going to make it different. Like, you're going to fix all these things. And in reality, you look at every story in the Bible where there is a clear and distinct turning point. It is not because of something God did. It's because of this, like, resolution that somebody had to turn from their old ways or their old beliefs and turn back towards God. And I realized that I had really put a paycheck on a pedestal, that I had made a financial stability an idol in my life.
But I thought the business was never about you. And I remember her from when I was in Scentsy. And she was very much one of the top leaders that said, I'm serving you. This is where God is leading me. I feel like this is going to help so many people, when in all actuality, right this second, you're admitting that all those times you said that, it was a fucking lie. A fucking lie to your team, to your customers, to everybody, because you were relying and comfortable getting that big paycheck because you had a big team under you. Again, just my observation.
And I think God was just saying, like, that's not going to bring you comfort or peace. And it was almost like, as I'm journaling and really thinking and praying about this and God's revealing things to me, I'm like, wow. 1, I have to repent from this, right? 2, I have to turn around. Like, this is a turning around that I have to do. I have to turn around and go, oh, I'm not going to choose to find my comfort in money or status or title. I'm going to instead find my comfort in simply being who I was made to be. So that was kind of like the beginning of, it really actually was the beginning of a turnaround. It's just not what I thought it was going to be. I thought this miraculous thing was going to happen, and I don't know if I just thought everything's going to be better. I just thought it was going to feel better. And it was just really God just really showed me in that week that I have a responsibility also to make sure that the first things are first in my life. I think if I've learned anything in these past 3 months, it's that the family and the community that we have around us are so solid. I could not imagine being any place but where we are as we've walked through this. And it's also super interesting to me how these little nudges that God gave us, like starting the flower farm, how that became a lifeline for me right after everything kind of fell apart and we lost all our income. It literally held me up.
That's an actual business. So now I just want to see, I need the receipts from this termination. I need to know. Was it the podcast or was it the flower farm? Because that is an actual legitimate business. Now I understand that in the terms and conditions, which I go over very in depth in my Scentsy deep dive, which I'll link below, it is a little bit gray about if you can have a actual business of your own or not when running your Scentsy business. And for that reason, they are very choosy, in my opinion, again, when they are terminating Scentsy consultants. For example, if somebody has a boutique where they're selling women's clothes as opposed to her flower farm, it might be different because a flower farm has a little bit to do with scents. And that might be the situation we're talking about and not the actual podcast.
And the plot thickens.
It's a little gray for me right now. There are some pieces missing to this puzzle. However, it's still a good picture of what it looks like for somebody who was in an MLM for so long and now has to figure out how to get out and navigate how to make a living.
Like in the middle, and pushed me into a season of then after literally when the flowers died, the harvest was over, I could really mourn and grieve. Hi friend, it's so good to see you. So here's the deal. I went live because I have been dreaming and planning and creating something for the past several weeks. It's this dream that I've literally had in my heart for years. Like, I kind of mapped all this out and dreamt it up a couple years ago, and then just felt like, well, I can't do anything with this. Like, here's really where I'm at. I realized this week on Monday, I'm planning to like get this started and like share it with the world. And I had so much fear on Monday. I am talking like almost anxiety level, like I'm not going to be able to function, fear. And it's just not who I am. And so Brian and I were talking. He was at work and I just said, hey, can you meet me for lunch? Because I want to activate on this and I'm ready to get started and I'm ready to share this with the world. And I have this deep, deep desire to help other women. And I am scared to death. And we've talked about it and he knows everything about it. But I don't think he knew how scared I was. I didn't realize how scared I was. And so we went to lunch and he's just like, talk to me about this. And so I'm like, I don't know. I'm scared to death. I'm scared to talk about it. I'm scared to post about it. I'm scared to say anything. And he's like, why? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. So I really started thinking about it and we kind of started processing through it. And I was like, you know what I think it is? I lived in a state of fear, have lived in a state of fear for the past 5 or 6 years. Really, when I really start to think about it. I think that it is natural to outgrow something. I think it is natural to... I don't even know what I'm trying to say.
Me neither.
Me neither.
I think it's...
Today, Junior!
I think dreams shift and change. I will say, I never thought that our business would not be, our previous business, would not be a part of our life. I never thought that. I just thought it would shift and change. And what actually happened, the reality of what happened is, I really believe it sort of became a cage. I think it became this, for lack of a better word, prison. Granted, there was no lock on the door. Let me get that clear. There were bars and no locks. But I was so afraid to open the door and walk out because of the stability of it, the financial stability, the safety, the comfort, right? I was so afraid that I didn't. But instead, I just kept myself in the cage because it felt safe, right? Like, I feel safe here. I decorated the walls pretty and it's cute. So I'm going to stay here. But really, when I started processing on Monday, like, why am I so afraid to do this thing that I literally feel like I was made to do? And I started to realize, like, oh, because when I was in the cage, I was not allowed to step outside the cage. I couldn't put my hand outside the cage. I couldn't talk to anybody outside the cage. there were rules.
Oh, so it's a cult.
So now we're addressing some cult-like behavior.
And what's so ironic about the whole thing is I was so afraid of breaking the rules. Like, so afraid that I would misstep, so afraid that I would do something wrong, which also, when I'm honest with myself and I look back, I'm like, whoa, man, talk about the idolatry that I had, this pedestal that I put this paycheck on. Like, whoa, like, hello. But even now, this fear that's coming up is actually not, and I've really talked to my therapist about this, I've talked to my coach about, it's not about, I'm worried about what people are going to think. It's that there's this deep innate, but am I going to get in trouble? What on earth? I am a grown woman living in a free country. No, and here's the thing, and this is my heart, and this is why the whole thing is ironic. I was so afraid to misstep, so afraid to get in trouble, lose my whole business, when I actually didn't make a mistake. It doesn't even matter. But here's what's so crazy about it is it's still trying to hold me back of I'm afraid to step into and do the thing that I was called to do. Okay. I did not start this with any sort of plan on what I was going to say.
No kidding. Gonna fool me.
I just knew I needed to go live. And so here we are with this story. But, that's where I am. In this, a little bit, a sense of fear to activate. And,
what the hell just happened?
Saying it makes me mad, but it is definitely still there. But I'm done with that. I don't want to live that way anymore. I feel so clearly called, as I have worked on this for the past several weeks. And like I said, dreamed it up years ago. But have really put pen to paper and made it all make sense and tried to put so much value in it that I have this deep desire, and I have for years, to use the gifts that I have been given to serve the world. And I didn't do that for so long out of fear and out of comfort. Out of comfort, safety, fear, all things that are literal dream killers. And what I want so desperately, and really what I feel like I was made to do, is call other women up and out.
Comfort and safety, well, yes, they can get you to kind of kill your dreams because you can be afraid to take the steps that you have to take because you're comfortable. Comfort and safety are things that we need as human beings. Those are things that we need to function as contributing human beings to society. So don't always shut those feelings down. Those might be actually trying to tell you something.
I want to watch other women walk in the confidence of who they were created to be. I want to watch other women stand in the fullness of their giftings and use those gifts literally to change the world. There is no greater desire in my heart than this. As I've been working on this program, and I guess I'm going to tell you about it in a minute. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. See, it's wild to me how much fear is stupid. I just want to show you something. Look, I've had these business cards for 1 million years. This says, it's probably backwards. It literally says creating space for people to grow because fear is boring. You know how they say, you practice what you preach? Well, you should. And that, you create the things you should create the things you wish existed. You have to write the book that you need to read. All of those things. Ultimately, as I started creating and working on this plan, every question has been, what do you need? What do you need in this season? What do you want for other women? Questions that ultimately are about everybody else, but it's also stemmed from everything that I've learned and everything that I've struggled with. I think that it's our weaknesses and our vulnerability that tie us together. And honestly, I was so afraid to be vulnerable for so long. I don't know, if you look at if you follow me for any amount of time, years and years ago, I literally wrote every day for a year. Sometimes I look back at that and I'm like, what was I thinking? What was I actually doing? But what's crazy about that season when I look at it is I made a commitment to do it. I did it. And because of the commitment and because it was every day, there were days that were just so raw and vulnerable. But it was those things. It was that rawness and that vulnerability that people emailed me about, that people sent me messages about, that actually built relationships. So I say all this to say, it's like I went from two extremes. Like I kind of lived this life on social media for so long that was so vulnerable and so open and so just, this is who I am. And I think as I grew and matured, I struggled with, I took a huge step back from social media. Like, I was off of it for a couple of years, totally. Like 2, maybe 3, I don't even know how long. And then when I kind of eased my way back in, I was afraid. I was afraid to be vulnerable because some of the things I thought and believed, I was afraid I was going to get in trouble. Like, again, fear. It's so friggin' stupid. So, anyways, this is the longest, most unorganized live you've probably ever watched.
You said it, not me.
But I did it and I just showed up. I want to tell you what I'm doing. So, I guess I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. All right, here's what I'm doing. I am have created, a community for women that is solely focused on helping you become who you were made to be. I think, like, the cry of my heart is that I have watched too many women, like myself, live in cages of fear or comfort or safety for so long.
Here we go. She figured out what was bothering her in therapy. So now she's going to become a coach to help people through the things that were bothering her that she's working through because she worked through them. So now she thinks she's qualified. This is not the route to go. I literally have a therapy appointment in 30 minutes with a qualified professional. Please go that route. XMLM consultants who are selling their coaching businesses, which she is about to pitch us online, are not qualified professionals.
And some of them are just like, some of them are self-made cages of comfort and safety. And all the coaching I've done, all the women I've talked to, all the emotional work I've done, like, I don't want to watch women live lives that are like half there. I just don't. Like, I want to watch women live lives full of purpose, fully using their gifts, growing in a way that glorifies God and brings peace. And I know that that's possible. Like, as I've been working on these past several weeks, I knew I was on something a couple years ago when I sort of started dreaming this up because it got me so excited. And then there was so much fear and I was like, well, I can't do that. And there's a million reasons I couldn't, whatever. So now in this like reignition of like dreaming and me being able to go, God, what do I want? And then I will say that's something that I've processed through almost daily for the past 3 months. Like, what do I want? What do I actually want? What do I want to do? Who do I want to be? What do I want my life to look like? Because it's literally like a clean slate, like starting over. Okay, here you go. No one expects to start over at 40, but there it is. And I think the more you ask the question, what do you want? And you're honest to answer it, the clearer it becomes. And the more, like, what's the word? Like gumption or obsession or like, I don't know what the word is. It's just like this deep desire to like, I have to do that thing. 100% where I'm at right now. So that's why I'm showing up right now to tell you about it. Say, creating a community for women. Here's the basis of it. I want to help you, or whoever, become who God created you to be. I want to help you not settle for anything less than that.
All they're doing when they're leaving these MLMs, in my opinion, and creating a coaching business of some sort, a mentor business of some sort, is they're just getting rid of the actual product part, because what they're getting is available for free, free, on YouTube, Facebook, in your church community, your physical community. All of those things are available for free. They don't need to come to an online community that's built by an ex-MLM hun that now thinks she can help people through trauma.
So it's essentially like, how do I teach women how to dream again? How do I teach women to remember who they are? Because ultimately, we have all been given, you are so uniquely you in the most amazing way. And this is a hard world where our gifts and our talents and who we are gets knocked down over and over again. And we start to mask and hide those things about ourselves. We forget who we are. We forget what we're good about. We forget the gifts that we've been given because we fall into comfort and we fall into idolatry and we just survive. And I don't want that for you. I don't want it for me. I want to live into the fullness of who I was made to be. I want to walk confidently in my giftings because I know who I am and I know who made me. And so I have this, like, it's an obsession almost. So here's the problem. It's not fully ready yet.
Yep. There's your problem.
What are we doing? Do you have any structure to it at all at this point? Or is she coming on and looking for people to basically tell her what she needs to build this community that people are going to have to pay for? They're literally just taking their MLM and removing the product and taking people's money and saying, here's the community.
It's simple with the option for it to become more complex. So let me be clear. It will be a paid group eventually. Starting in January. I'm going to open it up next week. I was thinking tomorrow, but I just don't know if it's going to be ready tomorrow. And I'm yapping so much, I'm not working. It's going to be free all of December. So you're going to get a taste and just a tease of what it looks like. So, there will be a daily journal prompt. And actually, when I say daily, it is daily because there will be 365 of them. But the goal of this entire group is for it to be simple. It is not something that needs to feel like, oh, it's this whole program. Oh, I can't add one more thing to my plate. It's not that. It's more about nurturing and unearthing and remembering who you are. And so daily journal prompts that I have literally taken years of journals, years of books I've studied, all just the resources out the wazoo to put together these prompts in a systematic way that help walk you through who you are, who you were made to be, what you're called to do. And honestly, it can be anything. The entire goal is growth. That you are intentionally growing in one way or another.
Again, journal prompts can be easily found on Google. She's really selling the journal prompts.
That could be as a mom. That could be as a Christ follower. It could be, I want to grow spiritually. It could be if you have a business and you want to grow in that business, whatever it looks like. That the whole goal of the group is a place for women who are like-minded, who love Jesus and want to walk in what they were made to do. That there is a space for you to show up. That there are daily journal prompts. We're going to read through the Bible. But here's the thing, you get to pick and choose, right? If you're I don't know if I can do that. That's okay. You get to pick what's going to work for you. So we are going to read through the Bible next year chronologically. We'll meet live once a week on a Wednesday night. It'll be recorded to discuss, ask questions, and everything that we study and everything that we look at. We're going to look at the character of God and help you really, truly understand this.
You can do that in church. And while they ask for donations most times, it's typically free. You could do that in church. You don't have to go to a women's paid online community to go to a Zoom call and read the Bible. I was going to drop an F-bomb there and it just didn't feel right in the same sentence as the Bible. But you don't need a paid community to get on Zoom and read the Bible with people you think are now your friends that you don't even know. Just go to church and read the Bible there. Even if you just want to sit in the back, read the Bible, go when mass isn't occurring. If you want quiet time, go and read the Bible. It's free and it's so quiet.
Of the Bible. It's hard to understand who God is if I don't understand the story from the beginning to the end. This framework that he laid out for me. Every story in the Bible, every word on the page points back to Jesus Christ. It points back to the character of God. And so we're going to look at that. And when you then know the character of the one who made you, you know that you were made in the image of a creator to create, then you get to gain the confidence of oh, okay, this is the character of God. I understand how he operates, who he is, how he loves me, how he sees me, how he created me to stand in partnership with him. And so then you get to walk more confidently in the direction of, these are my gifts, these are my talents, this is what I was made to do because this is who my God is. And so that is exactly what the whole goal is. So we'll read together a full chronological plan of the Bible. Again, you choose as much as you want. You can listen to it, you can read it, you can show up on Wednesday nights to meet with us, or you can watch the recording, or you don't have to do that. Daily journal prompts to help you unearth and uncover who it is you were created to be. There's actually a really cool feature where it's kind of like a game. So there's levels. So you come in as seeking curiosity of like, I want to discover who I want to be. And as you go through the program and as you go through, I've done 90 days of journaling and I've done this part of the course and I've done these things, it takes you to the next level and you get to grow.
So all she has, from the sounds of it, is journal prompts and plans to host a Bible club. Eventually there's going to be a course, it sounds like. Those course platforms launched at like the perfect time for people like this. We're talking like Circle, School, whatever else is out there, because these MLM consultants that are leaving the MLM world and crossing over into the coaching world are starting these communities on these basically gamified social media platforms. You go on these platforms and you do get rewarded. Like you can have it where you actually send them like a t-shirt or whatever when they finish a certain thing in the course or complete a journal prompt or whatever, or they get a badge or whatever it is. That's what she's talking about. From what it sounds like, she's on one of these platforms that they build the community on, and she's just inviting people that she knows essentially through Scentsy probably to this community, but they have to pay to get in.
What a ripoff!
Starting in February, we're going to do some small group coaching, some mastermind coaching. So my long-term plan, you want the long-term plan? Here's the long-term plan. The long-term plan is that we'll be able to do small group coaching, and hopefully we'll have enough people in this community where if you are, maybe you're a realtor, or you have a small business, or you're in a leadership position or something, and so you want a small group mastermind of like-minded people who are kind of growing in the same way you are. Or maybe in this season it's like, I'm a young mom, or heck, a mom with teenagers, like, and I just really want to grow in my like ability to be a great mom. Maybe you want to grow in your marriage. Maybe you want to grow in your emotional health. Maybe you want to grow in your walk with Christ. So my long-term goal is that we would have enough people in the groups where I have 3 to 7 people who want to grow spiritually. We have 3 to 7 people who want to focus on growth on their business. 3 to 7 people who want to focus growth in their marriage, whatever. So that those like-minded groups can support, encourage, and we do small group coaching around those things. So that's the plan. And then my big long-term plan is that we have enough people that I can build up and train other people to coach small groups, so that it expands and grows, and that other women can come in and coach and make an income from that as well. And
it's just a big group coaching community. She's building her own MLM. This is how it starts. She's going to be like Girl Power Alliance. That's what she's going to be like. Okay, that's enough of that one. So she went on another live ramble. This is more about pricing. So she didn't even know at that point what her pricing was going to be. She just had the journal prompts. She knew she was running with the journal prompt. Okay, so this live caption says, more yapping. Had to talk through pricing. New update. The Dreaming Co community and coaching group will officially open to the public on Friday, December 13th. So everyone and anyone can access our free workshop on Saturday the 14th. I can't wait. All right, so let's hear what the pricing is.
so running into a tiny hiccup, and I just thought, you know what? I'll go live and process. How about that? Here's just what I love. This is what community is for. That's not good. Okay. That giant mirror is usually in my bathroom, and I have been writing and brainstorming on it, and there's literally an entire mirror, full-length mirror full of notes, and so I had to move it in here so I could copy the notes to my computer anyways. My brain will not stop running. Here's the issue I'm running into. Okay, so this platform that I'm using that I'm so excited about for our community, it's awesome. But 2 things. First, I falsely thought that there was a 1-month free trial option for like people to join. So I thought, okay, great. I'll do the whole month of December free. Okay. It's not a free month. It's a free week. So now I'm like, well, shoot. Here's kind of what I'm thinking. So we're doing the Dreaming workshop within the community on December 14th. And I want that to be free, and I want anybody to be able to come in and participate in that workshop. So I'm just trying to decide. Here's kind of what I'm thinking. You can give me your feedback. If you're late, if you didn't hear my update yesterday, or you're like, what is she rambling about? I'm creating a paid community focused on helping women gain confidence in who they are in Christ. So know the Bible better, and then empower and equip them to basically chase their wildest dreams. It's kind of the same thing I've been preaching for a really long time, and now I actually like have a plan for it, and it just keeps evolving and growing, and I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, and you have no credentials for it either. You need the credentials to help people through those things. Those are different specialties also that you probably should have some kind of training and credentials behind.
So here's what I'm kind of thinking. I was going to launch the community on Monday because, like I said, I thought that I was going to be able to make it free all of December, and that's what I wanted to do. But I can't make it free all of it. Like, there's no logistical way for me to do it. I can only offer a 1-week free trial. So what I'm kind of thinking, this is my kind of like solution to the problem, I think, is that I'm going to create a founding members price point. Because what I can do is, like, anybody who comes in, so like let's say you come in, I think what I'll do is open it on Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th? Oh, sure is. Okay.
It's another sign.
Do not do this.
I'll open it Friday the 13th. The workshop is on Saturday. Is that going to work? I think it'll work. So the workshop's on Saturday. And then, so what happens is when you come in, whatever the price is set at, that is your price per month from then on. Does that make sense? So, okay, I'm back. Maybe. So what I think I'm going to do is create a founding members price. So anybody that joins in the month of December, regardless of when you join, it could be before the workshop, it could be after. The whole point is you'll get a 1-week free trial. So you can come in and get the workshop for free and not continue the membership. Totally fine. That's totally up to you. And then you'll have your free week, no matter when you come in. You have a free week in the program to see if it's going to be right for you. Because I don't think it's going to be right for everybody. I think it's going to be right for some people. And you'll get to come in and play, see if it's right for you. And then if you join in December, from then on, you will be a founding member, meaning your price will be significantly lower than anybody else's from that point forward. So then starting in January, the price that I was always planning on it being per month will be what the price is. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think that's like my way of trying to figure out how to make it. I don't know. It's okay. I think it's going to be good. So I think that's the plan.
This could have been an email. Why did she go on Facebook Live and talk to the people who are going to be giving her their money about this? We're going to use Target again. Could you imagine if Target went on and they were like,
so this new toy came out. We're going to price it here, but we're not sure. But we'll do this. And then I think I'm going to do that. And you can find it on the shelves next week.
what the are we doing? They're not business minded. That's the problem. You don't go on a social media platform and live stream about you figuring out your pricing. That is not a good business practice.
So I guess instead of opening Monday, which I'm so sad about, I think I'm going to wait to open until Friday the 13th, which a week from today. So the community will be opened on Friday, completely free. Saturday will be the workshop. We'll do our dreaming and vision casting workshop for 2025. So really quickly, let me just talk about that. That will look a little bit like, so the workshop will be 2 hours on a Saturday morning. So 10 o'clock Central to noon on Saturday, December 14th. Anybody is welcome. Everybody is welcome. Well, and specifically it's for women. So men, I love you, but sorry. Actually, not everybody, just the girls. It is really going to be focused on the awareness of where we are. So we're going to do a little of looking back. What did not work last year? What are some stress points that I consistently had? What are things that I dreaded? We're going to go through a lot of like, okay, we got to recognize where we were. And then we're going to work on moving forward into 2025, not just randomly, ho-humly, but with vision and purpose. So I know what I want to do in 2025. I know who I want to become. And then we're really going to guard your calendar and look at what does this look like if these are the things I want to do, and this is who I want to become, and this is where I want to grow. So much of everything we're going to do inside the Dreaming Co. is focused on coaching and accountability, but also on the very clear goal of growth. And you define that growth. I don't know where you need to grow, but you do. Or after our workshop on Saturday, you will know where you need to grow. So maybe it's I want to grow spiritually. Maybe it's I want to grow in my marriage, in my relationship there. Maybe I want to grow as a mom and better connection with my kids or more patience or whatever. Maybe you want to grow in whatever business you're running. You want to grow in your leadership ability. So you're going to be able to pick the scale of this is where I want to intentionally grow. And then that's where we come in as the Dreaming Co community with coaching, with accountability to help make sure you're reaching those goals. But every quarter inside the community, we will do a basically quarterly review of how did it go? How is it going? Where do I want to go? And so we're going to look at all those things. Everything we do is centered around dreaming and here's the thing about dreaming too. Dreaming can sound like such this fluffy, like pie in the sky. Oh yeah, whatever. But what's crazy is we discount dreaming for safety, and we believe this lie that comfort brings peace. Comfort doesn't actually bring peace. It's actually when we are working in our purpose and we're chasing after things that we know we were made to do. When you have that churning and that yearning for there's got to be more than this, or like I don't feel like this, like it's mostly that. It's like surely there's more than this. That feeling is the desire for your dreams to come to life. And here's the thing. There is room and space for all of us to dream. We operate within this community with the viewpoint of abundance, not of scarcity, that there is enough for everybody to go around. Whatever it is you are dreaming about, you can achieve. And whatever it is I'm dreaming about, I can achieve. But that's because there's enough for everyone.
What? We were just talking about pricing, ma'am. And now we just went on a spiral, and I'm sure nobody knows where the we just landed. We are not in Kansas anymore. Toto.
And that's also because we were each uniquely made. So even if you decide, I want to be a dog groomer. I don't know, it's the very first thing I came to mind. I don't know why. You decide I want to be a dog groomer, and someone in your town also decides they want to be a dog groomer. Great. Like, cool. You can support each other. This community and our focus is going to be around, essentially, I was telling, I don't know, somebody yesterday, I was like, my heart's desire is like to build up this army of women, equipping other women to go out and do the thing that they were made to do. And so that's really what it's about. But we're going to operate out of abundance. We're going to operate out of the belief that I believe that your dream is unique to you, even if it's similar in the vein of what I'm doing, but that we serve a God of abundance who created you uniquely to do something that only you can do. And so that's what we're going to get to the bottom of and operate out of this space of abundance. I kind of got off a tangent. I don't remember what I was talking about, how I got there. I don't know. Anyways, I think I was just talking about within the community what we're going to do.
We don't know either.
So I kind of think that's what I'm going to do. I know I said we were going to open on Monday just because of the way this software that I'm using is set up. I can't offer it free for a month. I just kind of tried to mess with it all day today. I'm thinking like, surely I can figure this out. I just can't. The only way to do it is to let everybody come in free, then kick everybody out, and then have them come. So I think my solution is founding members price for December. Everyone gets a free week no matter what. So you can come in on Friday the 13th, attend our free Dreaming and Vision workshop on Saturday morning, stay for the whole week, get the encouragement and the journal prompts and all the things that are already in the community for that week. And then your founding members price will kick in the next Friday. But then you will have that founding members price for as long as you stay inside the group. And then in January, we will move to pricing of what it's going to be monthly from there on out. So, okay, there it is. I just made my decision. I mostly processed that out loud with you. Thanks for being here. Okay, that's all. I just we're still on the same track. We're still moving, but things are ebbing and flowing, and I think that's a good thing. So, so in this community, like, we have rules. There's like categories of things that are like discussion points. We have a whole like positive post-it note area, and I'm so excited about that. And anyways, what was I going to say?
It's so fucked up and I'm going to hell, but the deed is already done. So it sounds like her and Poppy from Trolls have teamed up to build a community, and it's just God and Jesus and rainbows and sparkles and butterflies and unicorns and hugs.
Hug time!
It is hug time.
Hug time!
Molly said something in it. I'm going to answer your question, Molly, but I got distracted. I don't remember what I was talking about. No clue. Nope, it's gone. Okay, well, anyways, thanks for coming. Thanks for being here. I haven't shared pricing yet, so I don't know if I'm ready to share. I don't know if it's because I'm scared or if because I'm not entirely sure. Long term, I do know long term. Long term, the group's going to be $49 a month. I'll share that. It will be $49 a month.
$49 a month, and so far all you have is a workshop. One workshop and journal prompts and some Zoom calls where you're going to read the Bible and talk about it. $50 a month. This next one is her announcing all of the details.
Okay, friends, so it's Dreaming Co launch day. It's happening. I honestly am like, don't even really know how it's happening. Because this is just this dream I've had for a long time, and it's just coming to fruition I don't want to say out of nowhere because it's something I've stored in my heart for so long, but it's time. So I want to tell you a little bit about it. So the Dreaming Co. is a paid community of women who are committed to growing in some area of their life. So that could be you want to grow in your spiritual growth, like your connection with God. Maybe you want to learn more and know more about God's word. You want to grow in like your emotional capacity. You want to grow as a mom, as a wife, as a business owner, whatever it is, any area that you want to grow in your life. That is what this group is for. So it's basically designed to help you grow in the confidence of who you were made to be. And we do that in two ways. We do it through a very simple system of daily Bible reading and daily journal prompts. So I know that I have preached and been an advocate of journaling for so long, and it's such an intimidating thing for some people, but there's so much science and power behind it. And so it is just part of the process. And when you get inside the community, you'll see all about it. But it's a daily journal prompt, so it's not just you staring at a blank page. It's you really reflecting and growing as you're doing that. We're going to unearth and uncover some of the things that maybe have lied dormant in your life for a long time. These like yearnings for more, or this desire for something different, or maybe it's just more purpose or more peace, or maybe it's just more rhythm in your life, whatever it is.
All of that happens through journaling. So she's referring to the journal prompts. All of that was just used to market her journal prompts. Now we're going to find out what else she's added to this ridiculously priced program that she's launching.
So that is the basis of it, this super simple system. And it is fueled by this community of women who all want to grow and also believe in the abundance of the kingdom of God. So like the economy of God's kingdom is one of abundance, where I believe that if you are walking in who you were created to be, with your personality, with your unique giftings, that those things are going to bless the kingdom of God. And I also want I want to walk in my purpose. I want you to walk in your purpose. And regardless of how similar maybe our visions are, they're never going to be the same. And so when I fully understand who I am and what I was made to do, and that my personality is different than your personality, my giftings are different than your giftings, the way I see and experience the world is different than you. We can be in very similar veins and very similar lanes, essentially, and still never do the same thing and never affect the same people. And that is the beauty of the abundance of God's economy, that there is enough for everyone to go around, and that there is a place for you to do the thing that you were really made to do. And so that's really what this whole group is about. So the basics of it, like I said, are super simple: daily journal prompts and daily Bible reading. There are there's like additional things, not add-ons. There's additional things that you can choose to engage in if you want to, that are just part of being a part of the community. And that is, we're going to do a weekly gathering to talk about what you're reading in the Bible. We're following a plan. We're going to do the Bible recap plan with Tara Lee Cobble.
So the add-ons you have to pay for. So you can't even go to the weekly gathering. You're just getting the journal prompt, and encouragement to read the Bible, and another social media app to check every day.
It's a grift.
We're going to walk through the Bible in a year. Now, don't let that intimidate you. Maybe you're like, I've never read the Bible. The point is not that you get through it in a year. The point is that you establish a rhythm of engaging with God's word, and that through that engagement that you grow more confident in the character of God. And then when I grow more confident in the character of God, I grow more confident in who I was made to be and what I'm called to do. Okay. So, daily Bible reading, and then our daily journaling, that's the system. And then, like I said, we'll do our weekly gathering. If you can join us, that's great. If not, there's a recording. If you don't want to watch it, it doesn't matter. You're still going to get everything you need just from following our 2 simple steps of daily Bible reading and daily journal prompts. In addition to that, we'll do a monthly calendar setup where we sit down and look at your calendar and look at the season. So this will be live every month. We'll start next month in January, where we'll look at, okay, what's coming up and what do I need to prepare for? It's just a way to be intentional about planning your days. And as you become more clear on who you're becoming and what God's called you to, you get to allow and create space for those things to happen. So we'll do that as well. We also have a monthly book club. That's an option. Don't have to do it, but something that also can help you grow. We'll be really diving in and studying some incredible personal growth books, some spiritual growth books.
These are all add-ons. Again, add-ons in this app that she's using, this platform that she's using, cost money.
You're just going to be so blessed, I think, with I mean, a book is so valuable to me. Like you can't. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. Like there's so much power in really spending time reading what someone has spent hours and hours and hours and weeks and years to write. So anyways, that's it. Daily, monthly book club that we'll do. There's just so much insight in addition to access to me through our DM system. Like I've already, so we already have some women in the group, and I've cried this morning. I'm overwhelmed with the response of everybody inside and what they're saying. It's just been a blessing to me. And it's like, okay, you're taking the right steps. You just got to keep going. So, just getting to interact and hear their hearts and hear what they're dreaming about and why they showed up and why they're inside the community. So that, and then we'll do quarterly, really kind of evaluation. So each quarter we'll sit and look, okay, what's coming up in this next season? Like seasons are so powerful, and we look at our world, our life through seasons. Because listen, you could set a goal to say, I want to do this every day for a year. I want to do X, Y, and Z every single day. Like, it is so easy to get off track of that because every season of your life is different and our seasons change. And so each quarter we'll sit down and kind of reevaluate how the last quarter went and then plan moving forward.
There's really not so much inside the community. Those are all things that you can get for free from your friends and family, from your church, from a community of moms in your neighborhood that you meet up with, from all these different places that cost no money to join. If you have to pay for a community to help support you, they're not an actual community that you can turn to. That's my opinion.
So much inside this community, and I want you to come join us. Here's 2 things I need you to know. So, there is a founding member's price for December only. So anybody that comes into the community in December has access to the founding member price of $39 a month.
Still, $39 a month is outrageous. I think we've heard enough, right? And I have actual therapy in 5 minutes, which is another reason TikTok hates your bullshit will not be in this video either. But I promise, I'll give you 2 next video. I promise. There will be 2, maybe 3. I am so sorry. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with me while I talk a bunch of shit, and I will see you in the next one.
Someplace I could hide away. I feel like blessing my ride today. I feel like blessing my